you may have a good profile, but you have to put that thing in your writing. So essays are a very important part, which many people miss out. I needed someone to structure it for me a little bit, and Crackverbal, which as well as Vishnu quite helped me.
We could just start with is if you could briefly tell, people who are watching for them, what your background was and why did you start considering an MBA first of all?
I have graduated from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata in 2013, and along with that, I was doing CA. So I completed my CA in the year 2016, and I joined PwC in their financial due diligence department. So I was into finance for long, from 2000, from my school life itself, from 11, 12 commerce, and then graduation in BCom honors. So along with CA, I completed my 2 levels of CFA, L1 and L2, in 2015 itself. But after CA, once I joined PwC, I kind of left doing CFA and was okay with what I'm doing. I was like, let's do. I'm getting a good job. I'm getting good salary. I'm satisfied. That's it. That's what happens initially. You're getting a good salary. During COVID, I got a lot of time. We had a lot of time since it was work from home. I was thinking like I was kind of wasting that free period of mine. I was like thinking like I should get back to education once again. I started studying for CFA level 3, which was the only level left at that point. So getting back into education after 5 years in 2000, I started in 2021 during the second wave. Getting back into education after that long period was really a task. And but yeah, it took me time. I started my CFA journey again and cleared it in November 2021. Then after completing CFA, since I was in Deloitte at that point of time, I wanted to move more into a finance related role, because I was into the accounting related role in financial diligence. I was more into the accounting perspective. I wanted to move into IB. I gave few interviews over here, but they said, yeah, you have a very good profile, you have a CA, CFA, but all the big bulge bracket IB banks, they recruit only from top B schools, be it in India, be it in US. They recruit only from there, be it Goldman Sachs, be it JP Morgan, be it Jefferies, and anything. I kind of gave 5-6 interviews in boutique firms. They were also saying that your prior experience is not related to IB, so it's kind of risky, and we need someone. We usually recruit from these schools. So that at that point of time, kind of my wife told me like, go for an MBA, do some research and all. So I started preparing for an MBA, and because I thought that MBA was missing, the practical experience which I'll get in an MBA. I believe I have the technical skills, that one practical extent. That is why, since I wanted to move into IB, I decided let's go for it, and that point of time only.
Okay, so now you thought of the MBA. You knew why, perfectly why the MBA fits into your whole plan of everything. But then it is about, okay, where should I do the MBA from, right? How should I begin that journey? What should I do? Like, how did you start the whole thing?
When I started preparing for my MBA, initially I had kind of 2 options. Either I wanted to do it in US or US or Canada firstly, and or India. I was not looking to UK schools. So, but someone like a senior of mine told me that I have reached the age of 30 currently. So it is better I do, and my post MBA goals would kind of align with something which would prefer doing my MBA in US, because in US usually people having 5-6 years of experience like I have go for an MBA. Their average age of any school is 29-30 only. But if you look in ISB in Canada, I mean ISB in India or in Rotman in Canada, their average age is 27, 28. That's an average, but that is mostly preferred. And my post MBA goal that I mentioned by moving into IB is the main reason why I then decided, okay, I'll go to the US only if I have to complete. And most of the top B schools are in US. In Canada also, if you look, there are a handful of only 2-3 business schools. And currently, the economy in Canada is quite weak. So I decided, let's go for the US. And then that's where actually Crackverbal really helped me at that point of time. I will get into that story, share how Crackverbal helped me in deciding how I got a call suddenly from Crackverbal while I was preparing for my MBA, and then the next story.
So how did you decide? And you mentioned Crackverbal, so maybe we can get into that story of how the association was, what happened, how did you choose schools, how were we able to be part of your journey, please.
So when I was preparing for my GMAT, I suddenly got a call. I don't know how. Maybe like I have registered on. I was looking out for consultants, so I suddenly got a call. I think in mid of June, on that time, from Likkeshwaram. He's in Crackverbal. So he told me, he understood my profile. He asked me, so he said, like, even if you want to apply, come to us. We can assure you that you will surely get into one of the top B schools in US and even Canada, even with a not that great score. So you can surely that. So yes, Crackverbal. Then I was like initially confused because most of the consultants that I have discussed with, the other don't want to name them. Okay. So they are charging really high, really high, and the amount that Crackverbal charged was very reasonable. Trust me, for 5 schools it's quite reasonable compared with other similar level consultants. The amount plus the service that Crackverbal provides at that reasonable price is like really pushed me to go for that. And as I said, like the main reason why I decided to go for an MBA was my wife again. She only understood that missing puzzle of that why am I not getting into an Ivy first bracket. So she forced me to go for an MBA, and then she also told me, like, yeah, Crackverbal is really seems to be a good one. She did also her research. I also did my research, and then I saw the ratings and everything. I decided to go for Crackverbal. So yes, that is only, and with that, as I said, there are many schools in US. My first preference was to get into top 20 schools. Obviously, as I mentioned, like I didn't have that high score, so I left out the top 5-6. So out of the rest, then I have second thing which I decided to look for schools that are a bit of finance heavy. The recruitment where there is a bit of finance heavy recruitment. So in that way, it kind of narrowed down my listing, because I was not. I didn't want to go into consulting. There are few schools that are great in consulting, be it in top 10 or be it in top 20. And there are few schools that are great in tech side again, and there are schools that are very good in finance. So Crackverbal helped me in listing down those schools which are very good in finance, because that is only my post MBA goal, where the recruitment in finance is very good. So yes, that is how Crackverbal came into picture.
Nice.
And then the essays and everything. You may have a good profile, but you have to put that thing in your writing. In writing, like when you have to present those essays, you have to write what's your post MBA goal, why you want to go into that role, and as well as other diversity related questions. So essays are a very important part, which many people miss out. I have seen people with similar profiles getting into similar schools or schools below it, but they didn't go for any consultant. They have written their own essays, and trust me, the scholarship they got is very less, or maybe zero scholarship. So I feel like, at least for the scholarship part, essays really played a part, because I needed some help in writing down my points. I had my points. I needed someone to structure it for me a little bit. And Crackverbal, which as well as Vishnu quite helped me. They promised me something on the first day when I like made the payment, that how it would be. Like first you will write, then we will go through first process of editing, then second process of editing, then third process, and then thereafter multiple rounds. Finally, it will be checked by Srikala ma'am.
So you said 5 schools, right? And of course, there might be some overlapping things in terms of your story, etc. But what about like very specific things you have to apply to each school, right? So needs a lot of research.
Exactly.
Which school works for you. So how did you manage to do that research for these 5 schools that you applied?
Okay, so I applied to few other schools also.
Okay.
I also, but since like I have taken a 5-school essay, the essays in those 5 schools were a bit different, and that is quite comprehensive for other schools also. So I feel like the essay in one school is different than the essay in other school, like the top 5 schools, like the 5 schools which I selected. So what happened is like first and foremost, you have to do a research about the school. Without that, they will kind of find that thing in your answer, like essay answers. You have to put that why. Like I decided to go to UNC. So what is the speciality of UNC? What does UNC does? Like I have written that there is an investment banking club. There is an investment capital market lab. So I have done my research. I have searched I've seen a lot of YouTube videos. I have went into their website a number of times. I've seen their concentrations, like final concentration we have to select, the modules, the syllabus and everything. And so you have to do your research. Be it like even in US, in MBA, you have, when you are going for recruiting, you have to find, like you have to learn about the firm where you want to get recruited. Be it any bulge bracket or mid-size firm. So that is your job. So it's not like it will end over here. So I did my research. Then comes writing portion. But without researching, you cannot write.
How did you prepare for these interviews, and how did the actual interviews go? Like how were they actually?
Yeah. So again, when I got my interview, I kind of read about the school more. Okay, tried to understand it. Mostly the interview are kind of, they'll check your behavioral aspect. They'll not ask any technical questions in any interview. In any interview round, they will not ask any technical questions. So it's about you, like who are you and why do you want to come to this school and why an MBA. It has to be very clear. Like I have seen many people who are going for an MBA who don't know why they are going for an MBA, just because I want to do an MBA. But your post-MBA goal needs to be very clear, because I have spoken to seniors. They said that once your classes starts in August, if you are not sure by September what you want to do, it's very difficult, because we have to find our own internship by December. And it's not like what happens in Indian school, like people will come for an interview, they will ask you a few technical questions. No, it's not like that. It's a totally different thing. It's you who is responsible. So you have to be very clear what you want to do, and you have to get on it from the first day itself. So by September, if you are not clear what you want to do, you're gone. So you have to do a research again. Why that school and everything. I did my research, and secondly, Crackverbal. They took mock interviews. They identified those missing points which I had. You only took my mock interview before UNC, I guess. Yeah, you took my mock interview before UNC. Yes, you kind of pointed me out these other areas of improvement. There you are lacking. So I worked on those again before, 1 week before the interview. Crackverbal usually sends you that interview, the mock interview. I went through that again. I understood my areas where I need to improve, and then I sat for the interview. And to be honest, the interview was really good. It was a 30-minute interview with the AdCom member, which I had with UNC, with in other schools like in Darwin and other schools. It was a senior second year, but when it was an ATCOM member. She was, I felt like you can understand when an interview is going good or bad. It's a 30-minute interview. It got extended to around 34 minutes. Okay, and I could understand it was going well.
Nice.
I could understand it was going, because interview also is a very important aspect for your scholarship. Okay, I saw many people who got rejected after the interview. We had this GMAT club group and other groups. I saw many good candidates who didn't get any scholarships. So, because I said, like, if you lie in your essay, you'll get caught in the interview. 100% you'll get caught. So they asked me all these questions which are somewhat related to my essay. So they wanted to check whether I lied in my essay or not. But yeah, since I didn't lie, I wrote my own essay. It was quite easy for me.
If somebody is just starting out today for their MBA, thinking about an MBA, what advice would you want to give that person?
Okay, so it's not late. Still, by next day, it's not late. But along with preparing for your GMAT or everything, your essays are really important. Okay, I have seen someone who got in the top 90 percentile in their GMAT. They didn't get into top 15 schools also. So the schools have become very selective. Next year it would be very competitive. It's always competitive. Like this year, round 2 was very, very competitive. Apply as early as possible. Prepare your essays, like go through them again and again and again. Write your own essay. Personally, write your own essay. Never steal anyone's essay. And Crackverbal or any other consultant, whatever, like I prefer Crackverbal. They'll really help you in structuring. Vishnu for me has really helped me. We sat for like 3-4 rounds for a single essay. So they will really, really help you. Just that's it. It's not late. Work hard for it. And if you are like sure and you are like quite adamant that you have to go through it, you will do it. Because from August, you have like July, August, you have to give time to your essays. Because by September, almost all schools have their first deadline. Are done with their first deadline. September end, October, first, second week. It's done. Most top schools. So, and for Indians and for Indian males, I would say first deadline is like everything. Don't wait for the second deadline. Obviously, like many have got in their second deadline, okay. But if you want to increase your chances in top schools, first deadline. Don't go for first deadline and start as early as possible writing those essays. From the month of July, August also, start writing your essays. Make it more structured, and yeah, that's it. That's the only advice that I would give.
Thank you so much, Sauvik.
Thank you for all the help.
And good luck for this period, the MBA, as well as obviously your career post MBA as well.